Hello, everybody. Welcome to KPIS Delhi's C.A.R.E initiative, Current Affairs through Reverse Engineering. These are the articles we'll see. Alright, first one. Big setback for Pinarayi government. Supreme Court slams unwarranted intervention in Kannur Vice Chancellor extension. So, the tussle between the chief ministers of different states and the appointing authority of vice chancellors to the universities is not new. Okay, even prior to this Kerala case, Tamil Nadu, West Bengal also had the same issue. Okay, Tamil Nadu Assembly actually passed two bills that seek to transfer governor's power in appointing vice chancellors of 13 state universities to the state government. Okay, and this West Bengal is seeking to make chief minister as the chancellor of all state run universities, replacing the governor. All right, so they don't want central government's intervention in appointment of VCs. All right, so that is the issue. There are state universities and then there are central universities. All right. In state universities, the governor of the state is the ex officio chancellor of the universities in that state. Okay, and in central university, according to the Central Universities Act of 2009, president is a visitor, he's not a chancellor, he's just a visitor, and president shall appoint the chancellor. All right? This is Central Universities Act of 2009, and then there are UGC regulations, University Grants Commission regulations 2018. Okay, according to these regulations, the VC of a university is generally appointed by the visitor, that is the president, or the chancellor. The vice chancellor is appointed by the visitor or the chancellor. All right. Now we'll get into the MCQ. Consider the following statements. Which of the statements given above are correct? Vice chancellors of all universities in India are appointed by the governors of the respective states? No, because the jurisdiction of governor is limited to one or two states. That's it, right? Because there can be a common governor. No. So it is not all universities in India. This is wrong. Okay. Usually VC is appointed, usually he is appointed by the visitor, who is the president or the chancellor. Okay. Now this is wrong. That means A is gone. C is also gone. Appointments of vice chancellors to all universities in India are regulated only by UGC regulations of 2018. No. We also spoke about this act, no? Central Universities Act of 2009. So only UGC is wrong, which means 2 is also gone. D is the answer. All right. Now, which of the following are correct regarding the office of the governor in India? One governor can act as a governor of more than one state. Just now we have seen the explanation for this particular first point. So this is correct. Then 1 is correct. C is gone. Now, the governor has the power to grant pardons, reprieves, remission of punishment to persons convicted under the state law. This is correct. When compared to pardoning power of president, governor's pardoning power, they differ. Both of them differ. In what sense? See, president has the power to order pardon to a person facing imprisonment awarded through court martial or by any other military court. Governor will not have that power. This is another point which I am telling you additionally. It is not related to this second point here. Knowing this difference, you will not be able to answer this question. I am just telling you it as the extra point. Okay. So this is correct. So 2 is correct. When 2 is correct, D is gone. Now third statement. The governor is appointed by the president on the recommendation of the chief minister of the respective state. No. If this is the case, why will there be any tussle between the chief minister, elected government, and the governor? No, this is wrong, no? So 1 and 2 is the answer. Next, understanding simultaneous elections. That is simultaneous elections for both Lok Sabha and state assemblies. Alright? So, why is this in news? Because there's a frequent discussion that's happening because of its cost effectiveness. Okay? And then reducing the role of money in elections. Alright, all these advantages, because of all these advantages, the idea of simultaneous elections is gaining prominence. Okay, presently, the Lok Sabha elections will coincide with assembly elections in states like Andhra Pradesh, Odisha, Arunachal Pradesh, and Sikkim. Alright, now we'll get into the MCQ. Assertion. Simultaneous elections aim to reduce campaign finance and enhance financial prudence in the electoral processes. This is correct. So, assertion is true. Alright? Now, advocates believe that simultaneous elections would require increased campaign finance to effectively implement the proposed changes. See, we've just said that financial prudence is one of the advantages of simultaneous elections. So this cannot be the reason. Okay, it is contradicting your assertion, no? So this is not the correct reason. So A is the answer. I mean, A is true, but R is false is the answer. Okay. One disadvantage is it is a complex legal process because implementing simultaneous elections necessitates amendments to at least 5 articles in the Indian Constitution. Okay, and those amendments also require what? 2/3 majority of the parliament and ratification by half of the state legislatures under Article 368. Alright, so that can be a disadvantage. If that is mentioned in one of the options as a disadvantage, then it is true. But two contradicting statements about finances, that is wrong. Alright, now, if in an election to state legislative assembly, the candidate who is declared elected loses his deposit, it means that the polling was very poor. See, when he is declared elected but loses his deposit, what does it mean? He is a winner. Okay. However, he didn't get back his deposit, which means that he or she has failed to garner minimum percentage of votes. That percentage is usually 1/6 of the total votes polled. Okay, 1/6 of the total votes polled. So, if he is not getting 1/6 of the total votes polled, he will not get back the deposit. This is the basic point. Alright, so polling was very poor? No. He has to get at least 1/6 of the total votes polled. Then nothing will happen to his deposit. But if he is losing deposit, that means he is getting less than 1/6 of the total votes polled. The election was for a multi-member constituency? No. The elected candidate's victory over his nearest rival was very marginal. No, this is not right. A very large number of candidates contested the election. This is true because the winner itself is getting less than 1/6 of the total votes. Okay, the others would have got much less than 1/6. Okay, so and there will be many people contesting. That's why the votes, they got split among many people, and this fellow got less than 1/6. However, he is the highest, so he is declared as winner. Alright, next. India is set to launch its first X-ray polarimeter satellite, says ISRO. Now, what is a polarimeter? As the name suggests, it is an instrument for measuring the polarization of light. Polarization of light. Now, we should know some basics about what ISRO is saying because directly statements are picked from ISRO statements in prelims. Alright? XPOSat, X-ray polarimeter satellite, is India's first dedicated polarimetry mission to study various dynamics of bright astronomical X-ray sources in extreme conditions. Alright? And the spacecraft will carry 2 scientific payloads. two scientific payloads, okay? In which orbit? Lower Earth orbit, okay? And what are those two scientific payloads? One is the Polix. What is Polix? This is the primary payload. Polarimeter instrument in X-rays, okay? It will measure the polarimetry parameters, that is degree of angle of polarization and all, okay? And second payload is XSPECT. What is this? X-ray spectroscopy and timing payload. Alright. So these are some basics about this X-ray polarimeter satellite. Now we'll get into the MCQ. Consider the following statements with regard to XPOSAT. It is the India's first dedicated polarimetry mission to study various dynamics of bright astronomical X-ray sources in extreme conditions. This is correct. The spacecraft will carry two scientific payloads in high Earth orbit. No, we just saw it is low Earth orbit. Okay, so second statement is wrong, first statement is correct. So A is the answer, alright. Now, with reference to the IRNSS, consider the following statements. IRNSS has 3 satellites in geostationary and 4 satellites in geosynchronous orbits. This is correct. IRNSS covers entire India and about 5,500 square kilometers beyond its borders. No, this is wrong because it is 1500. This is not 5,500, it is 1500. Okay, so when 1 is correct, C is gone, D is gone, and 2 is also, 3 anyways it's not there, so 3 is gone. Now 2 is also gone, which means A is the answer. You don't need to read 3 also, alright. Now, Mahasagar. It was given in PIB. And what is the context? The context is Mahasagar was held in a virtual meeting. Now, what is Mahasagar? It is another word for what? Vast ocean. Okay, now we should know some basics about this one. It is Indian Navy's outreach initiative for a high-level virtual interaction between maritime heads. Why? For active security and growth for all in the region. And who are the participating countries? They are all Indian Ocean region littoral states, okay, which means Bangladesh, Comoros, Kenya, Madagascar, Maldives, Mauritius, Mozambique, Seychelles, Sri Lanka and Tanzania. Alright. Now, what is the theme for this meeting? It is collective maritime approach towards countering common challenges. It is collective maritime approach towards countering common challenges. Alright. So, this you have to remember and all these basics. Alright. Consider the following statements with regard to Mahasagar. It is an outreach initiative of Indian Navy for an interaction between maritime heads of Indian Ocean littoral countries. This is correct. We've just seen in the basics part, right? Now, collective maritime approach towards countering common challenges is the theme for the year 2023. Yes, both the statements are correct. Alright. Now, Sampriti 2016 recently in news is a joint military exercise between India and Sri Lanka? No, joint military exercise between India and Sri Lanka is called Mitra Shakti. Alright, not Sampriti. Okay. Now, joint military exercise between India and China? No. Between India and China, it is hand in hand. It is called hand in hand. Okay. Joint military exercise between India and Bangladesh? Yes, this is correct. Alright, so C is the answer. Next. Defence Acquisition Council approves capital acquisition proposals worth Rs 2.23 lakh crore to enhance the operational capabilities of the armed forces. In prelims perspective, this Defence Acquisition Council is very important. Okay, so we'll see some basics about Defence Acquisition Council. 1. It is the highest decision-making body in the Defence Ministry. Alright? Highest decision-making body in the Defence Ministry for deciding on new policies and capital acquisitions for 3 services. that is Army, Navy and Air Force, and the Indian Coast Guard. +1. What is that? It is Indian Coast Guard. Okay. And who is the chairman of the council? It is the Minister of Defense. Alright. And when was it formed? It was formed after the group of ministers' recommendation on reforming the national security system in 2001, post-Kargil War of 1999. Okay, so post-Kargil War. Okay, and its members include Chief of Defense Staff and Chiefs of Army, Navy and Air Force. Okay. Now, let us look into the MCQ. Consider the following statements with regard to Defense Acquisition Council. It is chaired by Prime Minister? No, it is chaired by whom? Defense Minister, right? Yeah. It was formed in the year 2020 after the Galwan clash? No, it was formed in the year 2001, post-Kargil War of 1999. Alright, so this is also gone. Its main objective is to ensure expeditious procurement of the approved requirements of the armed forces. This is correct. So A is the answer. Alright, now previous year question, who heads the Defense Acquisition Council? It is Defense Minister. A is the answer. Alright, now India strongly supports the decision to operationalize Loss and Damage Fund. Now, what is this Loss and Damage Fund? You have to know some points for prelims. Okay, so this Loss and Damage Fund was operationalized at Conference of Parties 28, COP28 in Dubai. Alright, now what is it? It is a global financial package to ensure rescue and rehabilitation of countries. Which countries? Countries which are facing the cascading effects of climate change. Okay. Now, initial fund is estimated to be $475 million. $475 million. And the host country, that is UAE, pledged $100 million. The European Union promised $275 million. And the US promised $17.5 million. Alright. And Japan guy also promised $10 million. Okay. Actually, this Loss and Damage Fund was first announced during COP27 only. COP27. Where was COP27 held? It was in Egypt. In Sharm el-Sheikh. Okay. Last year. Alright, now who is going to oversee this Loss and Damage Fund? It will be World Bank. World Bank. Alright. So these are some basics. Now we'll get into the MCQ. Consider the following statements with regard to Loss and Damage Fund. It is a global financial package to ensure the rescue and rehabilitation of vulnerable countries due to climate change. Yes. That is a purpose. Okay. Now, funds will be released by World Bank upon satisfying the conditions of definition of loss and damage under UN Framework Convention on Climate Change. See, first of all, there is no definition for loss and damage within UNFCCC's framework. Alright. And second thing, the countries are pledging to contribute. No, World Bank will not release. The countries themselves are pledging to contribute to this particular fund. So this is wrong. So only one statement is correct. Alright. Now, which of the following statements regarding Green Climate Fund are correct? It is intended to assist the developing countries in adaptation and mitigation practices to counter climate change. This is correct. It is founded under the aegis of UNEP, OECD. No. It is under the aegis of UNFCCC. Okay. United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change. So this is wrong. So first statement is right. Alright. Now, next article. COP28. Everything you need to know. We just spoke about one aspect of COP28 which is very important in the previous question. Okay, now we'll talk about the Indian Prime Minister articulation, that is Panchamrit. Panchamrit. Okay, it was announced in 26th session of the COP, Conference of Parties in United Kingdom. Now, what is this Panchamrit? Panchamrit are 5 goals. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, first one is reaching 500 gigawatts of non-fossil fuel energy capacity by 2030. So, there can be a standalone question with respect to climate change and India's actions. Which of the following do not constitute Panchamrit, or which of the following constitute Panchamrit? Okay, so you have to know. Sourcing 50% of its energy requirements from renewable energy by 2030. 50% of its total energy. Alright, and third one, reduction of total projected carbon emissions by decrease by 1 billion tons from now to 2030. Alright, and reducing the carbon intensity of economy by 45% by 2030 over 2005 levels. Alright, and to attain the net zero emissions by 2070. This is unique. Net zero emissions by 2070, this year I mean. Okay, so yeah, these are some basics about Panchamrit. Alright, now we'll get into the MCQ. Paris Agreement on Climate Change is a legally binding agreement signed and enforced in the year 2015. See, it is a legally binding international treaty. However, it entered into force on 4th of November 2016. So, it is not 2015. Alright. So, this is wrong. COP meetings act as the decision-making body for UNFCCC. This is correct. Right? Conference of Parties. So, B is right. Now, in the context of carbon dioxide emission and global warming, what is the name of the market-driven device under UNFCCC that allows developing countries to get funds, incentives from the developed nations to adopt better technologies that reduce greenhouse gas emissions? What carbon footprint? Carbon footprint is a term used to denote the total amount of carbon dioxide that one emits through all the activities. So this is not the answer. Carbon credit rating is also not correct. Clean development mechanism, which is a product of Kyoto Protocol, is the answer for this. Alright, so C is the answer. This is it for today. All the best.